right, good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. I also want to thank those who may be joining us virtually through our live broadcast or who are watching later on. Your presence truly does reflect the deep care our community has for the West Broad campus, and we value that tremendously. Before we get started, I do want to let you know that if you have any questions related to West Broad or this presentation, we have provided some index cards on the table here to my left that you may pick up, and you can jot those questions down there. We will answer as many of them as possible today. If it requires additional information, then we will provide those answers through our West Broad website. So today's presentation is an update of where we are, what we've learned, and how we will move forward. Before we discuss updates, I want to briefly revisit the district's priorities that have guided this work from the beginning. As we move forward with the revitalization of the West Broad campus, our work is guided by 5 clear priorities. First, we intend to utilize the property to support ACCA's pathways, ensuring that the site directly advances meaningful academic and career opportunities for students. At the same time, we are committed to rehabilitating the property in a way that preserves and reflects its existing exterior structure, maintaining the visual character that holds historical significance. Honoring the history of this campus is essential. We will incorporate historical displays and actively seek input from those who have deep connections to the site to ensure its legacy is authentically represented. We also envision the campus serving the broader community through the creation of multi-use rooms and a community park that can be enjoyed beyond the school day. Throughout this process, we will provide transparent and regular updates to the public, ensuring that our community remains informed and engaged every step of the way. These 5 priorities continue to anchor every decision we make. As previously shared, the plan proposed rehabilitating 2 buildings, the Minor Street building and the Campbell Lane building. The intent is to expand ACCA, adding a construction pathway, utilizing both buildings to support the academic and technical programming. The proposed pathway is not arbitrary. It is firmly grounded in both demonstrated need and clear opportunity. Local companies have expressed strong support for the development of this pathway, recognizing the demand for skilled workers within the construction industry. Market research further confirms that construction remains a strong employment sector locally, offering viable and sustainable career opportunities for graduates. In addition, ACCA leadership has voiced interest in expanding into this area to better serve students and respond to the workforce trends. Together, these factors position the construction pathway as a strategic investment that aligns workforce development, student opportunity, and the economic needs of the Athens community. Under the initial proposal, the Minor Street building would house classrooms, meeting spaces, and legacy spaces honoring the site's history. The Campbell Lane building would contain specialized construction labs and outdoor canopies designed to meet CTAE state code requirements. This configuration will balance preservation with high-quality technical programming. During the initial community session, I shared several next steps. As an update, the structural engineer's assessment of the Campbell Lane building has been completed. That report was presented to the Board of Education in January, and I will summarize key findings shortly. ACCA administrators are currently forming the building committee. I will share additional details about representation a little later in this presentation as well. And we continue to move with urgency. The buildings have been vacant for 15 years, and the continued delay increases deterioration. We must proceed thoughtfully but deliberately. The feedback survey was made available in December to allow community members an opportunity to provide input and feedback regarding the proposed use of West Broad. We received 19 survey responses, and while the sample size is small, the feedback offers meaningful insight into the community sentiment. 17 of the 19 respondents, that's nearly 90%, indicated familiarity with Old West Broad School Complex. And 15 respondents identified historical significance as the top priority for preservation. Many describe the site as a powerful symbol of Black history, community identity, and legacy. We asked about preserving specific buildings. Support was strong but varied. 14 respondents, that's 73.7%, indicated that preserving the Minor Street building is important. 16 respondents, that's 84.2%, expressed strong support for preserving the Campbell Lane building. And 10 respondents, 52.6%, indicated the West Broad Street building is important to preserve. This suggests meaningful support for preservation, though not uniformly across all structures. The survey also revealed cost sensitivity. 6 respondents, it's 31.6%, support preservation regardless of cost, while 10 respondents, at 52.6%, support maintaining the buildings as long as cost remains reasonable. 13 respondents, that's 68.4%, indicated support for rehabilitating, but not all buildings, reflecting both emotional attachment and an expectation of fiscal responsibility. Regarding the proposed construction pathway, 14 respondents responded yes in support, 4 respondents responded maybe in support, and 1 respondent responded no. Across all responses, 3 consistent themes emerged: the importance of honoring the past, serving the students, and providing meaningful community space. Now to the engineer's findings. The Campbell Lane building has been vacant for 15 years, and while it remains standing, the level of deterioration is significant. The most serious concerns stem from long-term water infiltration. The engineer identified multiple roof failures that have led to widespread corrosion of steel beams, deterioration of the roof decking, and severe damage on the second floor. Water intrusion has also extended into the first floor, causing corrosion in structural elements there as well. The engineer made it clear that without intervention, the building's structural integrity will eventually be compromised. To safely restore and reuse the building, several major repairs would be required. These include full replacement of the roof deck, as the current system is outdated and no longer used in modern construction, repair or replacement of corroded steel beams and columns, installation of a new lateral force-resisting system to meet current code requirements, and masonry repairs along with resealing of joints and openings. If the building were converted into CTAE construction labs, structural demands would increase by approximately 50% due to higher load requirements. Under those conditions, some structural members would exceed their capacity and require reinforcement. Additionally, the existing column spacing and ceiling heights present limitations for configuring modern lab layouts. The full engineering report is available on the West Broad webpage for anyone who would like to review the detailed findings. But all in all, the assessment let us know that the building can be rehabilitated. To ensure thoughtful planning, the building committee will include 6 members from Athens Community Career Academy. That would include administrators, staff, and 1 ACCA board member, 4 community members with a vested interest in West Broad, 4 members from the construction industry, and 1 Board of Education representative. This balanced representation ensures educational, community, technical, and governance perspectives are included. They will work closely with our SPLOS department, providing input and feedback to ensure that we are meeting the needs of students, meeting state and industry standards, and honoring the historical significance of the campus. We are currently seeking individuals to serve as community representatives on the ACCA Building Committee. Applications may be submitted electronically using the QR code seen here on the screen or via printed forms available here at the district office as well as at our Career Academy. Applications are due March 5th at 5 p.m. We encourage community members to consider applying. In addition to forming the building committee, our next steps include hosting a building planning session, which is tentatively scheduled for March 31st, 2026. This session is open to anyone interested. Participants will review existing building conditions, explore renovation options, practice industry-aligned problem solving, engage in a design charrette, and produce early concepts to inform architects and engineers. This will be an authentic, hands-on planning experience. As we plan for the future of the West Broad campus, CCSD remains committed to transparency about building conditions, community engagement at every step, honoring the history of this important campus, ensuring a safe, high-quality learning environment for all students. This work requires balance, respecting legacy, ensuring fiscal responsibility, and preparing students for a meaningful future. We approach this responsibility with seriousness and care. I want to thank you for your continued engagement and for your partnership in these efforts. And at this time, we will take any questions from members of our audience.
Okay, we have this comment followed by a question. 19 is not a valid sample. You're basing findings on an invalid sample?
So with that, then the feedback survey remains available. So we'll continue to review that survey. We do recognize that that is a very low number when we think about the size of our Athens community. But those are the individuals who chose to provide input, and so we always want to review and acknowledge and take whatever input we can receive. Then we do want to take that into account as we move forward with any decisions that are being made. But again, the feedback survey remains available.
And I'll share these. I believe these will probably require a later response, but I'll share them all together. Cost of rehabilitating the Campbell Lane building, total cost of the project, from where will the funds come, and what are the abatement costs?
Yes, and so we will provide that information. I can let you know that the funding does come from SPLOST funding. As far as the abatement costs, then abatement was done in the fall, in the late fall, as we were looking to secure those buildings. And so we can pull that exact number and provide that, but that's something that would have been in the board briefs for board approval for the abatement that's happened thus far. I don't know that it was necessarily more than anticipated. I think that it was more because there was more to do to actually address some of the issues that they were facing. And so it's more than just the boarding up. They actually did the asbestos abatement as a part of the boarding up. All right. Well, thank you all so much for being here. And while we're waiting for this additional question, then I do just want to remind everyone that we do maintain an up-to-date website regarding our West Broad property and all of the efforts that are going into revitalize that property. And so that can be found on our district website. If you'll look, there is a link to the website for West Broad. That is where you can find the feedback form. You can also find all presentations that are being done related to West Broad. You'll also be able to access the application to serve on the West Broad Building Committee on that website. And so we will continue to update with information there as new information becomes available. That is also where you would find the full report of the structural engineer related to the Campbell Lane building.
I mean, I'm thrilled with the plans for West Broad. Do the people who were talking, kind of smack talking the charter system, understand that if the charter system goes away, the pathway, the plans for West Broad might go away? Because people who teach in the construction, they don't have the requirements. They're not PhDs, they're not teachers per se, they're professionals, like the people teaching welding, they're professionals. Do they not see a disconnect, or do you know?
I can't speak to that. I can't speak to that, but you definitely raise a good point, because we are able to use our charter system waivers in order to employ industry professionals at our career academy. So.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Once again, thank you all so much for being here, and we look forward to continuing to provide you with updates throughout this entire process.